Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name's Ron, and let's talk about Season 1 of the Netflix original, Mindhunter. Mindhunter follows the birth and first steps of an FBI unit designed to study criminals guilty of violent crimes, especially ones who committed a series of these crimes, in order to try and understand the way they think and create a study that will help prevent these crimes in the future. Holden Ford and Bill Tench are the two FBI agents who formed this unit, and the main thing they do is go and talk to imprisoned serial killers. This is 1977, so very much the early days of criminal psychology. Just the mention of psychology makes people go like, the term serial killer isn't even a thing yet. Holden and Bill feel that something is changing in the way that violent criminals do violent crimes, and that some of the FBI's profiling methods and definitions maybe just aren't relevant anymore. Mindhunter is based on a true crime book called Mindhunter inside the FBI's elite serial crime unit. Holden and Bill are fictional characters. Most of the killers they talk to are based on real serial killers who operated in the 60s and 70s. One thing you'll notice about the show is that David Fincher's name is all over it. He didn't create the show, and he wasn't the showrunner. He's an executive producer, and he did direct a few episodes. I think he directed like 4 episodes. But if you've ever watched a David Fincher movie, you'll definitely recognize his style in this show. So Mindhunter follows Holden, Bill, and later in the show other members of the team as they try to learn more about the minds of serial killers and how they work. And in the process, they're exposed to some pretty messed up things that leave their mark on you unless you're already kind of insane already. So the show tells the story of this brand new FBI unit as they explore what basically is uncharted territory, and the personal stories of the characters involved as well, their personal lives and how their work affects their lives. The show focuses on Holden a bit more, but it does explore the other characters as well. Most of this show is people sitting in rooms talking, but it's one of those shows that takes a conversation and makes it as intense as a killer going after their victim, maybe even more. The show combines the psychological thriller aspects you see in Fincher's work, like Gone Girl, the movie, or The Zodiac, with detective stories. Inevitably, as Holden and Bill travel across the country and work with local police, they also can't help but get involved in local cases and try to apply their methods, these methods they're developing. This is also where some of the tension comes from. Are we just observing, studying, so we could later share our conclusions with the law enforcement community, or do we actually try to use this stuff as we go along? Not everybody agrees on the right answer to this, so it creates some pretty complicated situations. There are 3 main characters here, with Holden being the one who gets the most focus and sort of drives the story. They're a team, but I liked how they generally care about the same things, but you could say from different angles. They want different things out of this whole thing. And they're also very different people. Holden is seemingly unfazed by the really messed up things they run into, and he's almost weirdly fascinated with morbid things. Tench is more experienced, he's seen more things, but he's more of your standard, regular, normal person. He's shocked or gets upset by the things that you're supposed to get shocked and upset by. Which is something that feels true. This happens when you see someone react to something in a certain way and you think, are you reacting that way because that's really how you feel, or because that's how people are supposed to react to whatever it was? The third member of the team, Wendy, is a scholar. She looks at things from a more scientific standpoint. This show nails the atmosphere, the vibe that conveys the mindset everybody is in. Everything feels just a little disturbing, almost dreamlike. Part of that, for example, is that the dialogue doesn't feel real, in the sense that people don't talk like that. People don't have their responses ready so quick with such eloquence so often. So in many of these conversations, the general way people behave feels authentic, but not the way they talk. And I think it's on purpose, because it really reminded me of Fincher's work on Gone Girl. It helps make everything feel just a little bit off, and the show uses this to create this strange feeling environment. I think it works. I think it works perfectly. The show also explores quite a bit of Holden's personal life. The other characters too, but Holden is the focus. And it's more than just showing us how his work affects his relationship. It's also showing us how he is as a person. And that is mostly that he's not pretending to be someone he's not when he's at work. Some of us might behave a little differently when we're at work. Maybe we want to present a certain version of ourselves. It's important to the story that we understand that Holden is not like that. He sometimes feels almost robotic, like there's something wrong with him. But it also might be the thing that pushes him to do things a certain way as he learns more about the psychology of these killers. Bottom line, should you watch it? Yes, I think you should. If you like psychological thrillers, if you liked movies like The Zodiac and Gone Girl, I'm sure you'll love this show. This feels like a show that was made by people who are masters of their craft. You have a pretty small cast, and the show uses every story device very deliberately. Nothing feels out of place. Everything that anyone says or does serves a purpose, and the show's visual style contributes to your understanding of how they're thinking. It was just beautifully made. The characters in this show are strong, and very quickly they make sense. Each character is more than their thing. This guy is stubborn, this guy is violent. No. They feel like people who mess up, who make bad decisions or good ones, but you understand why, which, for me at least, it really helps me care about them and what happens to them. So, it's a good show. Go watch it. What about you? Have you watched Mindhunter? What were your thoughts about it? What were they? Let's talk about it. If you're going to be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And you can also find me on Twitter or Instagram or TV Time, which is a pretty cool app that lets you track the shows you're watching. You can also join our Discord server where we chat about TV, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time.